Shalom, this is Daniel John Lee with Torah Restoration Ministries. It is Saturday night, August the 11th, 2018. I'm going to be using this chart for my YouTube. And I don't know if you can read it. I tried to make it as readable as I can. I don't have a software program to make this all nice and professional, but this is a six-sided hexagram. It's a symbol used in Kabbalah, Kabbalistic. It's a satanic symbol, essentially. 666. It has 6 triangles, 6 points, and 6 sides. So it's 666. I believe this is the symbol of the beast, actually. Anyway, the top is the Pyramid of Giza. Then this is the Jerusalem Temple. This is the Truth Movement, Dominion Theology, the Golden Age, the Age of Aquarius. This is False Armageddon, World War III. This is the False Regathering, Ephraim and Judah joined. And this is Noahide laws. I think this is actually appearing backwards. Okay. Yeah, because everything appears backwards, I guess. So, what I'm going to present in this video is comes from years and years of research and using other people's research and sort of connecting all the dots. It just all sort of fit together for me after I made that last video on Friday about how the truth movement and the exposing pedophiles in Hollywood will lead to the Great Tribulation. So the Jews will call it the Star of David, but it really has nothing to do with David. It's a pagan symbol. It's used in Satanism. It's used in Kabbalah, which is basically witchcraft. And it's 666, and I believe what Yah showed me was that this satanic symbol, as it has 6 points, there are 6 fundamental areas that are going to form not the current New World Order that we're under, but the new World Order that's going to rise up out of the ashes of World War III like a phoenix out of the fire. And it's going to be the Satanic Kingdom for 3.5 years. Right now, we are seeing the New World Order that we've lived under for the past 70 years or so. We're seeing that New World Order begin to crumble, and it's the deep state, the New World Order that we're living under. It's going to be removed and destroyed, and in its place, we're going to have this satanic new World Order. And I believe these 6 sections encompass what this next New World Order is going to be like. So we'll just start at the top and then we'll work our way around. The very top is the Pyramid of Giza. So for several years there was a French archaeologist and his team that were bombarding the Pyramid of Giza with these neutrons, I think they were, to try to see what was inside, because the Egyptian authorities won't really let archaeologists go right in there because they're afraid they'll disturb stuff. And on November 3rd of 2017, last year, they actually published a story which said that they determined that there's a secret compartment, passageway in the Pyramid of Giza that had never been discovered before. It was the first major discovery in Egypt since like the 1800s. And as of right now, the Egyptian authorities are not allowing anyone to go into this hidden void or compartment to figure out what's there. But the French archaeological team, they are working on developing miniature robots so that they can send them into this void, hopefully if they get permission from the Egyptian authorities, which they don't know yet, and explore that void. And I believe that void is going to play a lot into this new age, new world order that's about to open up. I think it's going to open up in about 6 years or so, around 2024. I've written some articles about this, or maybe not. I have written some articles, and I've also made some YouTubes about this. But basically, the reason why you see this Pyramid of Giza with an eyeball on top on the dollar bill is it's an Illuminati symbol, and there's something very important about what's being hidden inside that pyramid. I actually believe that the Apostle John and Enoch took the broken, slaughtered body of Judas Iscariot and put it in that vault that they just discovered in the Pyramid of Giza, and that he is going to be the Antichrist, that Judas Iscariot is going to resurrect, and he is going to be the anti-Messiah, and he's going to come out from that Giza tomb that they have yet to explore. Well, that's my belief. I got a lot of articles and videos about that subject that I'll put below this video if you're interested in exploring why I think that that's what happened. The next one is the Jerusalem temple. I've also got a lot of articles about the coming third temple. The whole thing about Trump recognizing Jerusalem as the capital of Israel and moving the embassy from Tel Aviv down to Jerusalem, it's all to pave the way for the temple. That's what it's all about. This temple is going to get rebuilt, and it's going to be a place for all nations to come and worship, but it's going to be apostate. It's going to be run by Jews who deny the Messiah, and eventually it's going to be filled with the Shekinah glory of a satanic messianic figure, which will be the abomination of desolation. This temple will be rebuilt. It will have animal sacrifices, and then eventually the animal sacrifices will stop when this counterfeit Shekinah glory fills the temple, where the anti-Messiah, who will look messianic, will sit on his throne and be a mimic of the Messiah. So that's something that has to happen before we see the Great Tribulation. Next, we have the Truth Movement, Golden Age, Age of Aquarius, Dominion Theology. So I went over this in my last video, explaining how the Truth Movement, in exposing all the evils of the current New World Order, is actually going to be dovetailing nicely with Dominion Theology, which believes we have to take over all the institutions like the entertainment industry, politics, schools, etc., in order for the Christ to return. So the Truth Movement will be used. A lot of people in the Truth Movement, they don't know Yahweh, and they don't have the Messiah living in their heart, and so they're looking to tear down the current New World Order in order to start a golden age, an age of Aquarius. But that's really, they're going to be successful, and they are going to tear down the New World Order, and the Dominion theologists are going to take over these institutions, but it's going to lead toward not a golden age or an age of Aquarius. It's going to lead toward the 3.5-year satanic kingdom. So that's part of the deception there. The current New World Order is going to be torn down, and what is going to rise in its place is going to be the satanic kingdom that everyone thinks is going to be a golden age, but it's not. So a lot of deception in that right there. It's a key to understand that all of these are deceptions to bring about the New World Order. Down here we have the False Armageddon, World War III. Well, I encourage you to watch a series. Just go to YouTube and type in False Armageddon, F-O-I. Followers of Yah put together a 7-part video series called The False Armageddon, and it details in great detail what the Illuminati want to do. They want to bring about a world war, a global thermonuclear world war that will look as if it is Armageddon. After it's done, everyone's going to think Armageddon has happened and the Antichrist has been overthrown. The New World Order is going to be overthrown. But actually, this World War III, False Armageddon, is going to be, out of the ash of that, is what's going to give birth to the satanic kingdom of the 3.5-year tribulation that's described in the Bible. So watch that video series, because there's a lot, and I'm going to put links for all of these topics below this video so you can explore that more. A lot of good information in there. And that goes into this next point, which is the false regathering of Ephraim and Judah. So there's a counterfeit regathering of Ephraim and Judah. If you're not in the Messianic Hebrew Roots movement, you probably don't know about this, but there's a lot in the Messianic movement that think that they're going to be involved in a greater exodus that's going to take them to Israel right around when America gets destroyed, which is the false Armageddon. And Judah represents the Jews that are already living in Israel, but Ephraim represents Christians who have returned to the Hebrew roots. So they believe they're supposed to return to Israel once America gets destroyed. And once Ephraim and Judah are reunited there, the Christ will come. And again, this is a false regathering that I have articles about that I'll post below the video. That the New World Order actually says they want this to occur in order for them to bring about their man. And then the last one is the Noahide laws. There's a lot of information about the Noahide laws if you Google it. But the Noahide laws are a group of 7 laws that the newly formed Sanhedrin, which is 70 rabbis, they formed in 2008, they're going to use the Noahide laws to rule the world once the Antichrist is ruling from Jerusalem. And the Noahide laws, they sound like really good, upstanding laws and stuff, but actually they're very demonic. They don't, if a Jew does not recognize you as a fellow Jew, then you're not allowed to keep the Sabbath. And if you try to keep the Sabbath, or the Torah, as anyone who loves Jesus should, the penalty, according to the Noahide laws, and the Talmud, which is the basis of the Noahide laws, is to cut off your head. So, once World War III occurs and the United States is removed, you're going to have essentially 10 nations or 10 horns that are going to be submitted under Israel, which is the 11th horn. And of those 10 horns, 3 of those nations are going to be destroyed. Russia and China will be destroyed during that 3.5-year period, as we read about in Daniel 11, because he hears of tidings from the north, Russia, and from the east, China, and he destroys them. And then there's a third one that's destroyed. I'm not sure, probably the Arab nations that are in the Middle East will be considered the third nation that's torn down, because Israel, I think, during this time is going to expand from its original borders, which is from the Nile River to the Euphrates. So all these 3 things are going to come into play to bring about the new world order. I could be wrong about the timing, but I believe it's going to happen around the spring of 2024 is when it's going to begin, and it'll go for 3.5 years until the fall of 2027. In the spring of 2024, after this World War III happens, everyone's going to think we've entered into a golden age, an age of Aquarius. We finally achieved victory, we've torn down that old New World Order, but it's actually going to be a very evil time. And some people will wake up and realize that, and some won't. If they take what I believe this is the mark of the beast, the star is the mark of the beast, 666. And many of our friends and family are going to be the ones used to persecute us during that time. All right, I'm going to provide links for all of these 6 topics that you can explore at your own leisure. And hopefully this will give you a better perspective of what is to come. This is Daniel John Lee with Torah Restoration Ministries. Website is spiritandtorah.com. Shalom.